Paul Watson is a conservationist, and Paul was part of that sort of nucleus of Greenpeace as it was transitioning into a group that really became interested in the environment. But where he began to break with Greenpeace was his willingness to destroy property. There are people who call it ecoterrorism. Paul, I think, would prefer to call himself a pirate. Watson is a sort of large, burly guy, and he's got hair that's white and long, and sometimes at sea he'll put on what some people call patent boots, and he'll wear sort of a military-styled sweater. He likes to dress up in uniform. He'll sometimes wear a sheathed knife at his waist. And basically, during a confrontation, immediately preceding a ramming, what he will do is he'll get on the radio and he'll sound very official, and he'll say something like,
Oriental Bluebird, or should I say the SS Whale Meat, please remove yourself from these waters. You're in violation of international conservation regulations. We're acting in accordance with the United Nations World Charter for Nature and implementing these regulations.
I mean, Watson has basically come up with a set of tactics that he uses very deliberately and very carefully. For instance, when he rams ships, he does so not at a 90-degree angle, but he sideswipes them. A more recent innovation is something that he and his crew called the can opener, out the starboard side of the vessel. It looks scary, but in the end, what really results is a kind of marine key scratching. To disable ships, they use what they call prop Fowlers, wire webbing that they pass or attempt to pass under the ship so that they tangle up a ship's propeller, can incapacitate a ship.
Now, go!
And they also throw smoke bombs on the ships. I mean, they basically make it impossible for whatever ships they are confronting to do what they are out on the sea to do.
Another line coming in.
I witnessed the crew intercept marine poachers in the Galapagos National Reserve, laying down a long line, which is strictly forbidden. This was what the Ecuadorian officials will call an artisanal long line, which is to say that it's put in the water by a few fishermen who probably made it by hand. The Sea Shepherd's crew caught them midway, and this artisanal long line, which is small by comparison to industrial ones, had already submerged more than 200 hooks. They decided on their own that since the long line was illegal, they would begin removing it from the water, which is a little bit of a tricky thing to do because there's the danger that this is going to get tangled in your propeller. And so while this is happening, they put one of these Zodiac mechanized dinghies into the water to pursue the poachers who were dumping the long line into the water. And the idea behind that was to identify the ship, see if any markings on it could be recorded, and to videotape it while also showing its position using a small handheld global satellite positioning device. And all that was, after being documented, was turned over to the rangers at the Galapagos National Park. Watson attracts volunteers who understand conservationist work as direct action. These are people who don't want to be working behind a desk. They don't want to be lobbying. They are frustrated by the compromises that come with that type of environmentalist work. They want to directly intervene. They come from all over the world. They range in age, but most of them are in their late 20s, in their 20s and 30s, about half his age, I would say, on average. And they're very committed people. They see the world as Paul does, which is a world that is basically caught between two countervailing forces. The sort of force of conservation, which attempts to understand the world as a sort of biosphere in which humanity is only one feature of it. And there's the other way of seeing the world, opposite to that, which is that the world is here for us. And they really chafe at that view. And for that reason, sometimes I think they're most comfortable on the ship and at sea.